We live in a world obsessed with talent, with genius, with the idea that some people are born destined for greatness. And the rest of us? We're just spectators. But let me tell you something no one ever told me. Talent is overrated. What actually changes your life, what builds your dreams, what transforms ordinary people into extraordinary forces is something far less glamorous and far more powerful. It's not about being the smartest person in the room. It's not about having some magical gift that others don't possess. It's not about waiting for your big break or your perfect moment. It's showing up. Show up on the days you feel unstoppable, when the wind is at your back and everything seems to align. But more importantly, show up on the days you feel invisible. Show up when nobody's watching, when nobody's clapping, when nobody even cares, when your body aches, when your mind doubts, when your heart whispers. What's the point? That's when greatness is forged. Let me tell you about someone I once knew. They weren't special, didn't have connections, didn't have a trust fund or a famous last name. What they had was a morning alarm and a stubborn refusal to hit snooze. Every single day, for 3 years, they showed up to an empty gym at 5 a.m. Not because they loved it, not because they felt motivated, but because they made a promise to themselves. And they decided that promise was sacred. Some mornings, they could barely lift the bar. Some mornings, they sat in their car for 10 minutes, talking themselves through the door. Some mornings, they cried. And you know what happened? Nothing. For months, nothing. The scale didn't move. The mirror didn't change. The Instagram likes didn't come. But something else was happening. Something invisible. Something profound. They were building a foundation. They were becoming someone who keeps their word to themselves. They were proving, day after day, in the dark, in the silence, in the mundane, that they were reliable. And that's the secret nobody tells you. Every masterpiece was once a messy draft. Every champion was once a beginner who got beat down and got back up. Every so-called overnight success took years of mornings where they wanted to quit, but didn't. Because here's the truth. Talent sets the spark. Talent opens the door a crack. But showing up every single day, that's the fire. That's what pushes the door wide open. That's what turns potential into reality. Think about the writer staring at a blank page at midnight. Think about the entrepreneur hearing their 100th no. Think about the artist whose work gets 0 views. Think about the student who fails the test they studied so hard for. What separates the ones who make it from the ones who fade away? They showed up the next day. They didn't wait for inspiration. They didn't wait for validation. They didn't wait for permission. They just kept showing up. And slowly, imperceptibly, something shifts. A blank page becomes a paragraph. A paragraph becomes a chapter. The chapter becomes a book. The no's become maybes. The maybes become yeses. The 0 views become 10, then 100, then thousands. Not because you suddenly got talented, but because you got consistent. So stop waiting for the perfect move. Stop waiting for motivation to strike like lightning. Stop scrolling through social media looking for some magic formula, some secret hack, some shortcut. There is no shortcut. Motivation doesn't build empires. Habits do. And habits are built by one small, ordinary, unremarkable decision, repeated 1,000 times, 10,000 times, until it's not a decision anymore, until it's just who you are. Do the reps, even when they're hard, even when nobody's counting. Write the words, even when they feel clumsy, even when you think they're terrible. Take the shot, even when you miss, even when you're afraid of missing. Press upload, even when your work isn't perfect, even when you're terrified of judgment. Do it messy, do it tired, do it imperfect, do it scared, do it uncertain. Just do it. Because here's what I've learned. You will forget the excuses. You will forget the fear. You will forget the doubt. You will forget all the reasons you almost didn't. But you will never forget who you became. Because you showed up. You'll never forget the person who looked back at you in the mirror and said, I did it. I showed up when everything told me not to. That person, that's the person who changes everything. So the next time that voice whispers, not today, you're not ready, you're not good enough, maybe tomorrow, I want you to whisper back something far more powerful. I'm here. I showed up. And that's enough to change everything. Because it is. It is enough. Every giant leap started with a single step. Every revolution started with a single person who refused to accept things as they were. Every movement, every breakthrough, every transformation started with someone who decided to show up. Will you be that person? Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, not when conditions are perfect. Today, right now, this moment. I don't care if you show up for 5 minutes. I don't care if you show up exhausted. I don't care if you show up with doubt still clinging to your shoulders. Just show up. Show up for your dreams. Show up for your family. Show up for your future self, who's begging you, pleading with you. Please don't give up on me. Because that future version of you, the one who made it, the one who succeeded, the one who's living the life you dream about. They're not smarter than you. They're not more talented than you. They're not luckier than you. They just showed up more times than you quit. So make this your mantra. Write it down. Put it on your mirror. Tattoo it on your heart. I show up, even when it's hard, even when it's dark, or even when I'm alone. I show up. Say it until you believe it. Say it until you become it. The world doesn't need more talent. It's drowning in talent. Talent that never got used. Potential that never got realized. Dreams that never got pursued. What the world needs is people who show up. Be that person. Show up tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that. Not because it's easy, not because it's glamorous, but because you decided that your life, your dreams, your story deserves someone who shows up. And that someone is you. Now go, show up, and watch what happens.